What's up, guys? Welcome back to Digital Dive In, the proper gaming talk show, where we dive into the latest news in gaming every single week. It's your boy, Mr. Monkey, rocking an awesome hand-stitched Digital Dive In hat that his wife got him. With me today is SGK, rocking the beanie and Ozzy Osbourne shades and a TKE hoodie from college, because he's still in college. We got a bunch of news for you guys today. A little more than typical, but some of them are smaller stories. So, jumping off, we're going to start off with a couple announcements that one launched yesterday, Thursday, and one launched a little bit earlier. But starting off, Oculus, makers of Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest, the VR headsets, the awesome VR games. They announced the very first in history VR gaming showcase. This thing is going to be going down April 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they said they're going to be talking about updates, releasing new footage from unreleased games, and a whole lot more. They did announce that the developers are going to be there are going to be Cloudhead Games, Ready at Dawn, and ILMX Lab. Respectively, they made the Pistol Whip games, Lone Echo 2, and Star Wars The Galaxy Edge Experience. Blah, 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 that long-ass freaking title of that game. Unfortunately, your boy has not played any VR game because I don't have a VR headset. But the fact that we're actually getting a VR gaming showcase is super cool. And out of nowhere, really. They just announced this yesterday, on Thursday, and it's happening next Wednesday. Shit. Okay. Cool. I'm down. I really want to get a VR headset. But what do you think about this? What do you think this really means for VR games in general? Do you think this is like a sign that VR is becoming mainstream? Finally, maybe trying to at least.
So, I have a couple thoughts. I don't think it's going to become completely mainstream until the games get better. Once a new kind of game comes out, genre, way of looking at it, whatever, it's going to start off a little funky. You know what I'm saying? You remember the very first year of VR, it
Yeah,
was
it
complete
was bad.
trash.
It was
Only thing you
bad.
had was like what, virtual sports, and that was kind of it.
Yeah,
But
that was
so far
yeah.
they've been coming along. They got some Resident Evil games on. They even have a new VR Doom game out, which is pretty much a remake of Doom 3 or redone Doom
Yeah,
3,
and
put in
they
VR.
have the Half-Life Alyx game, which is one of the most immersive VR
Yeah,
experiences ever. Like that game was
exactly.
just insane.
But I'm also I don't know if you want to call me like old fashioned or whatever, but I like to not. I don't want games to get to the point where you can't tell what's real and what's fake anymore. Like I don't
Oh,
want
I
those
do.
lines
Oh, I
to
do.
blur.
I,
Oh, come on,
I want a
man.
legitimate Sword Art Online experience. I want full dive
No.
VR.
Why
I
would you
want it.
want that?
Or
Because
at
then
least Ready Player One. I want a Ready Player One experience like VR.
no,
That
you're
is
going to take
so cool.
the humanity out.
No,
Because
you're
people
not.
aren't going to look at each other as people anymore. It's just we're all just going to
People
lose
don't look
touch
at
with
each other as people
ourselves.
nowadays, so nothing's gonna
I mean,
change.
there's still a chance it could hold on.
I mean, that's
You're just
fair.
really ready to just throw it out in the garbage
Yup.
in the toilet.
I
Oh
no,
man,
seriously, I really do want a Ready Player One experience because that movie is like the dream of VR. Like that shit is just so cool because there's
that's the
not quite
thing.
v or full dive because you're still like present and conscious in the real world. You're just
Mm-hmm.
it's just such an immersive experience. You got a treadmill, you got the suit and everything, which they already technically have for VR. They're expensive as all
I
hell,
mean,
but
they, they used to say that all these things wouldn't exist, and now they do. It
yeah.
could be possible to get stuck in a video game, and if that happens,
Yeah,
ugh.
that's fair. Yeah, no,
But the thing
that's why
about
Sword Art
VR
Online is so
is,
like, ugh.
so for a supporter of VR like you, I know I feel like it's also going to be a long road because
Oh, 100
people aren't
percent.
going to people aren't going to endorse in it until it gets to that point, like
Yeah,
where
you're
it
right.
gets to be that good. And if people aren't going to endorse it up until there, then it's just going to be slow to make money, slow to
Well,
get,
I think
investments and everything.
the main driving force for
So this is
this
going
is
to
going
help
to
that.
be, I think the main driving force for VR is going to be when AAA studios start developing more big budget VR games that really make
Yeah.
good use of that tech.
Yeah.
Case and point, Half-Life Alyx. That is literally
Mhm.
the best game on VR probably right now. We pass the question off to you guys. What do you think about this being the very first VR gaming showcase? Do you think this means VR games are going to become more mainstream? Do you think there's still a long way to go? Let us know all your thoughts in the description below. Moving on to the rest of this is going to be Sony news. I'm sorry, but Sony has been consistently making waves while Xbox is just sitting back and chilling.
I mean, some of those waves aren't good though.
No, true.
So
Some of those games aren't good, and we got our brand new section of things we hate this week coming up at the end of this video. And yes, it involves Sony. So we're not just complete Sony fanboys, even though we both have PlayStations. Anyways, Sony is apparently trying to break into the mobile gaming scene with a new job advertisement that's asking for someone to lead their mobile gaming development team, essentially. The whole idea behind this is they want someone that this person who comes into this position is basically going to be taking all the Sony classics and making them accessible for mobile smartphones, not like handhelds, but smartphones specifically.
it's
And
gonna be streaming, do you think?
yeah, I kind of think so. I honestly think we're going to be seeing more of like a Google
'Cause I don't think they're
Stadia
gonna
style thing.
build like trying to make them actually playable on phones. Like I think it's going
Yeah,
to just
no,
be
that would be
streaming
insanely
service.
hard to do.
Yeah.
I do expect this to be kind of like a Google Stadia thing. I kind of expect them
Yeah.
to be working more on their remote play system and just
Hmm.
making it better. Because right now, the only way you can really use remote play is if you have a PlayStation Vita. And now that they just
Yeah.
closed the store, I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. Now you can do remote play between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And you can also do it on your PC, but that is buggy as all hell.
Sony
I
not trying to
tried it.
preserve
I
their
tried
legacy.
it. It's so damn buggy. They need to put a lot of work into the remote play. They really do because it's a really legitimately good system.
It is. It's really cool. When I first it first blew my mind away when I first tried it. See, when I first got a PlayStation 3, I
Yeah.
didn't have internet. So
Okay.
it was strictly an offline console for me. Then once I finally did, my mom got internet maybe 4 years after I got my PlayStation 3.
Oh man,
So I
yeah.
was finally able to test out the PSP remote play, and man, I
See,
was so blown away by
I
that. It
never
was
actually was able to like enjoy that much. To be fair, I also had no idea what the hell it was because I was still a kid.
Mhm.
And what the hell did I know at that age? Like, let's
I
be
mean,
honest here.
I just looked through the settings. I was like, "What's remote play?" And then I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh my God,
I
that's so
remember
cool!"
I remember seeing it, but I never really messed with it much. But yeah, I kind of expect them to really make like the remote play really accessible for phones because I mean they might be looking at how Google Stadia is doing it and how
Hmm.
well they're doing it because say what you will about Google Stadia, it's surviving, and it's working really well.
More important,
So
people are playing it.
yeah, exactly. People are actually playing Google Stadia. I really want to get Google Stadia, but I'm saving it for a house. So priorities at 27 priorities. We're pass the question off to you guys. What do you guys think about Sony breaking into the mobile scene? Do you think it's going to be for streaming, or do you think it's going to be more for like really emulating Sony games, PlayStation games onto a smartphone? Let us know what you think. Other news: the big PS5 update that we were all promised a while ago finally dropped. This is the first big PS5 update. This is the update that allows users to move their PS5 games onto USB external drives because you couldn't do
That's
that on
actually
launch. And that's cool, and I'll get into that in a little bit. You can also now pre-download game updates, which is freaking awesome. You got
that
some
is.
you got some UX changes, minor ones, just the game menu and stuff like that, and then a couple of other smaller stuff like supporting 1080p on 120 hertz PC monitors and a couple other things. But the biggest thing, really, with this update was the whole moving PlayStation 5 games onto an external drive because you couldn't do that at first.
And also the cross share play.
Yeah, you can also do the crossplay now with PS4 and PS5, which is also very cool. They had supported that somewhat before when
There was
on
no support.
launch. But yeah, now it's fully crossplay support, which is awesome.
Yeah, there was no support whatsoever. Like I couldn't. I was trying to share play with a group of my friends, and I couldn't because they had PS4s, and
Yeah.
just didn't work.
Yeah, well
So
now they have full support for that, and that's really awesome.
yeah,
But now that they have the PlayStation 5 games that can be played on USB, it's weird. Okay, so essentially what they do is you can now move your PlayStation 5 games onto your USB, but if you want to play them, you still have to copy the game back onto your regular hard drive. And that's because all these PlayStation 5 games are designed to run on the new SSD and not a hard drive, or not an HDD
yeah.
rather. So
And
now copying the game is a lot faster than reinstalling the game. All it does is copy the data onto your SSD instead of playing it through your HDD on your external drive.
but it's
So
still complicated.
yeah, it's still complicated. It's still kind of
'Cause
weird. It's still not
I watched a YouTube video
refined.
about about the SSD update, and like it was like you had to have yeah, it has to be a certain USB. It can't just be any USB. It has to be able to run at a certain rate, and
It has to be a
to be
fairly
in a high
decent
capacity.
external drive.
Yeah, they're
I
like
have a
specific
Toshiba one, and that thing is a
qualifications.
dream.
Yeah,
But
so for
yeah,
this to
yeah.
work,
So yeah, it has to be a legitimate, like decent hard external drive. But honestly, like unless you have an SSD external drive, moving these games onto your external drive doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, especially for PS5 games. Just because, again, you're still going to have to copy the data back over to your SSD to play the game. So it's not going to
right? It's
be
just going back
as
and forth.
immediate as it is with the PlayStation 4 games. Because PlayStation 4 games you can just play straight from your external drive.
Yeah,
So it's a double edged sword. It's
it's just
awesome
gonna be
if you
back and
want to
forth.
free up
It's gonna be really
space.
annoying.
Yes and no. I think it's designed specifically so you can free up space
No, it is.
on your console storage because
Mm,
with all these games being such big downloads,
mm,
sometimes if you don't want to delete a game, if you're going to come back to it soon, you can just move it, and then when you want to play it, just copy it over to your console storage and then play it.
yeah.
So it's a little weird. A little weird. They got to refine it a little bit, I'm sure, and I'm sure they're going to. This is just the first update of many PS5 updates. So don't shit on them too hard for this. Honestly, this is a step in the right direction in the first place. So
But some could argue they put out a half-finished console. They could have just waited a couple
I
years.
don't think it was half finished by any means. I mean, they're just like very few features that weren't included.
I mean, features that should have been like all this should have been in there day one. Like it wasn't like
Yes,
they
but
put it
they're not.
out
But they're
and
not
it
top
was
prior. But the thing is, they're not top priority features, though. You know, like cross share play is not a huge priority, and neither
I
is
mean, to
putting
some
your
it
games
is.
on an
Like to
external
a lot of
drive.
us it was.
Some. I mean, crossplay was still supported because I can still play games with you on my PS5 and you have a PS4. Like we could play Zombie Army. We could play Warzone. There's a bunch of games that are still, you know, crossplay support for PS5 and PS4. So this just
Right. But I mean
fully extends it.
right. But I mean it's still it was still just a bit unfinished. Like like the SSD thing, especially for people that like are trying to play a lot of their games, like that could have been in there, like that should have been in there day one. And
Yes
just
and
some
no.
other
Yes and no because a lot like I can't speak for a lot of players. I had an external drive when I had my PS4, so I literally just kept the games on there and plugged it into my PS5, and they worked totally fine. Like I could still play
Mhm,
all my PS4 games on my PS5, easy peasy. There was no issue
mhm.
there. The only difference was I couldn't move my PS5 games to my external storage, and honestly, there wasn't really a need for that when the console first came out because there weren't a whole lot of games released. Now that there's more PS5 games out, it makes more sense. Anyways, last story and our last topic and section: things we hate this week. So I'm sure you already know Sony shot down a pitch for Days Gone 2, sequel to Days Gone, in favor of The Last of Us remake, the first game from the PlayStation 3. What the fuck? That's my biggest one today. Like, why? This is so unbelievably stupid, and it actually led to a couple of Sony execs just leaving Sony because of this, because they're just milking the shit out of the Last of Us series and remaking it for the PlayStation 5. You don't need it. One, it still holds up. Two, it's not that old of a game. You can literally just remaster it like y'all did for the PlayStation 4. You don't need to remake the goddamn game. It really doesn't. And yes, it was a fantastic game. It was an amazing game. But it does not need a remake for the PlayStation 5. It's not that old. I'm getting really tired of all these freaking remakes.
Yeah, didn't we talk about this in another video?
We did.
Overdone.
Yeah, we did. I would much
when they did this.
I would much rather Sony. Yeah, exactly. I would much rather Sony focus on new IPs, new titles, rather than remaking not old games. This game was. When was this game released? Last of Us?
2014. 2013.
Yeah, 2013. Yeah, it was right around the end of the PlayStation 3 era, beginning of the PlayStation 4 era. It was like a year or two before the PlayStation 4 came out, and then they remastered it for the PlayStation 4 because it is a good game, but it does not need a remake, okay? And this is actually very suspicious because they announced the remake around the time, or about a month after the Last of Us show or movie or whatever they're doing, adaptation was announced, you know? So I'm kind of curious about whether or not they're going to just pull a Marvel Spider-Man and change the faces of Joel and Ellie to match the live adaptation.
That'd be really stupid and a waste of money.
It would.
I remember they did this with Spider-Man. Like, oh man,
exactly. That's what I said.
I was like, we don't need that. The game's
the new face is the new face is so dumb. The new face is so dumb for Spider-Man. I hate it. I hate it so much. I can't.
About the fact that his mentee looks older than him.
Right? Like that's God. So dumb.
So and also a lot of people were really mad because Days Gone was such an amazing game.
Oh God, it was. It needed work, but it was very good.
It had its big patch. Once it had its big patch updates, it became a fairly really good game.
Yeah, they got rid of the frame rate drops. They got rid of some of the bugs and some of the weird stuff that was going on, and it ran really really good. The game is very fun. Anyone who has not played it, please do. It was released for free on PlayStation Plus, so if you have PlayStation Plus, download it.
Didn't Sony turn something else down along with
it was Days Gone 2 and oh my god, yeah, it was
a new Uncharted game, was it?
Yeah, Uncharted. Well, they didn't shoot down a new Uncharted game. That was rumored to possibly
Uncharted
be in development.
Remake. It was either Days Gone 2 or Uncharted 1 remake.
Oh yeah, and they just went with The Last of Us remake.
The Last of Us 2, like
Uncharted, that would be, good for a remake because that's a very old game. Like that would be decent for a remake. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that. I would not hate a Uncharted 1 remake. But at the same time, that game still holds up today.
It does. Play the remaster. I was like, man, this is beautiful still. Oh my god, yeah. It's great.
But yeah, no, this is just so stupid. I don't know what the hell Sony's thinking, and I don't even think there's a single PlayStation fan who is actually excited about the Last of Us remake. The only reason they're doing this is because they got a brand new generation console and they want people to play The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2. Odds are when The Last of Us remake comes out, they're going to do a bundle with The Last of Us 2 and whatever. I love both games. Don't get me wrong, but we just don't need a remake of the first game. We just don't.
Do you guys think Sony's just getting too money hungry at this point?
Yo,
just losing
things.
Kinda. Like they've changed the PS2 era. They've really changed, and it's just
Seems like
I
they're
don't know.
trying too hard.
Yeah,
But guys,
and why not put more attention to Last of Us 2 since a lot of people still haven't played it yet. A lot of people are
exactly.
still hating the game and they haven't even fully accepted Last of Us 2 yet, and you're going to give them a Last of Us 1 remake? Like, come on.
Yeah. I
You
don't
know,
know. I just hope they don't change the story. I really hope they don't change the faces, because that'd be a slap in the face.
it would be.
I hope they just.
Because
I really just don't. I really hope they just don't change a whole lot in the game or anything in the game,
I,
because the game was literally perfect.
yeah, it was. I don't think they would.
I
I
hope
don't think they
not.
would go that far. Because like think about it, you already have two full games with this. They wouldn't change it
Exactly.
up if they're going to make a third one.
Who
That would
knows?
just they would lose. They thought they would get hate for the second one.
Right? Exactly. They're getting a lot of hate for this one. But guys, passing the question up to you guys for let us know what you think about the Last of Us remake. Do you think this is just a obviously this is a money grab, but are you actually excited for this, or are you joining the rest of the majority of PlayStation players in saying this is a stupid ass decision, Sony? What the hell are you guys doing? Let us know in the comment section below. And as with all of our other stories, please let us know all your comments, critiques, everything in the comments below. We love answering your comments. We really, really do. I keep up with it. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Share this video with all your friends, family, and everything. We are kind of getting big. We're really, really trying hard, but we need your help. Right, Jules? Looking creepy
Yeah,
as hell over
yeah.
there. Ignore him. Ignore him. Avert your eyes, children. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay excellent. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.